This is Haldi Doodh. Now, if I try and sell you this, what's it worth? 20 rupees, 30? But let's be honest, some of us won't even have had it for free. Let's pour it into this. And then let's call it Turmeric Latte. And just like that, I can sell you this for 500, maybe even 600 bucks. And the same people who hated it will now sip it slowly, relishing every drop. 40 times the price. If you count a zero price, infinite times the price. The only thing that changed is this cup and the stamp of approval. And if you're about to say, "Arey, this is just marketing," then please look a little closer, because I'm telling you, this is something much bigger than this simple Haldi Doodh. Take yoga. The word itself comes from the Sanskrit dhatu yuj, to unite. It is an extraordinary ancestral science refined over thousands of years, designed specifically to master the human nervous system, align the breath, and quieten the mind. It is one of the most profound achievements of our civilization. But how did we treat it? For decades, our modern, educated generation looked down on it. We dismissed it as just some outdated, backward exercise our grandparents did in a park. We followed Western tracks to the gym and Jane Fonda kind of workouts. Remember Jane Fonda? Yeah. But the moment America embraced it, the moment they put it in expensive studios and branded it in premium activewear, suddenly we all wanted to book a class, a yoga class. We throw our own things away, the West digests them, often renames them and markets it back to us, and only then do we want them back. Always in that exact order, never the reverse. And today, we're going to trace exactly how deep it goes. We're going to follow this reflex to many parts of our lives and see how it has quietly designed the very world we live in. We will see it in the houses we live in, the laws we follow, the culture we like, and the way we measure our own genius. And once you start noticing this, you start seeing it everywhere. This reflex, this quiet instinct to doubt what is ours until the West approves it. I call it the need for a Western Thappa.
Now India is emerging as a hub for global luxury. Luxury fashion's love affair with India is only getting bigger.
For decades after independence, the Finance Minister of India would stand up in Parliament to present the Union Budget at exactly 5 p.m. Now you'll ask, why 5 p.m.? Does the Indian economy function better in the evening? No. We did it for exactly one reason. 5 p.m. in Delhi was late morning in London. It was a convenient time for our colonial rulers to read the numbers over their morning tea. The British left in 1947, but we kept presenting our budget in the evening for over 50 years, until Yashwant Sinha ji finally shifted it to a sensible morning hour in 1999. We lived on a clock set to someone else's time long after they had sailed away, and we'll still do it. Look at our calendar. Why does the Indian financial year run from April to March? It makes absolutely no sense for an agricultural economy governed by the monsoon, at least in our early years. Logically, our financial year should turn after the rains, around October or November, when we actually know what the harvest looks like. Two major government committees, the L.K. Jha Committee in 1985 and the Shankaracharya Committee in 2016, pointed this out. They recommended changing it, but still we keep the British administrative financial calendar, a system built for a completely different climate. They don't have the monsoons in the UK. Now look at the buildings around you. Today, the ultimate symbol of wealth and success in our cities is a towering glass building with central air conditioning. That is a design copied straight from cold, low sun Europe and the northern United States. Glass buildings are literally designed to trap heat. Glass buildings make sense in a climate with less sunlight, but we Indians don't live with less sunlight. We live instead with excess sunlight. Our ancestors had already solved architecture for the Indian summer. They built traditional deep verandas, balconies, courtyards, and jaalis. This was absolute climate genius. It naturally shaded the walls and allowed the breeze to cool the house inside. But we dropped our own brilliant engineering because we decided Vastu Shastra looked backward and replaced it with glass boxes that boil in the summer. Or look at how we manage water. The West depends on a few massive perennial rivers. So their engineering solution was to build giant dams and move water through huge pipes. But India's geography is completely different. Our monsoon falls everywhere. So our ancestors built a decentralized system. Tanks, ponds, stepwells, and check dams in every single district to catch the rain exactly where it fell. We abandoned those. We let them silt up, fill them with concrete, build housing societies on it, and chased big dams instead. Only now are experts realizing that the design that actually fits our land is the decentralized one that we left behind in history. A clock, a calendar, a building, a dam. You could excuse each one as an administrative accident, but put them together and a pattern stares back at you, and it points somewhere deeper than systems. It points straight into our own heads. Ask yourself, how does an Indian intellectual prove their worth today? We seek validation from foreign universities, a degree from a Western institution, or an article published in a Western journal is considered the ultimate stamp of approval. We evaluate our own scholars based on how well they can quote European philosophers, not from the vast trove of Indian thought. This isn't an accident, this was a design. In 1835, Thomas Babington Macaulay drafted his infamous Minute on Indian Education. He explicitly stated that the goal of the British education system was to create a class of people who were Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, in opinions, in morals, and in intellect. He didn't just want to control the land, he wanted to colonize the hard drive. He wanted to make sure that long after the British left, we would continue to measure ourselves against their ruler, their terms, their systems, and it worked. Think of Srinivas Ramanujan, one of the greatest mathematical minds in human history. When he first presented his revolutionary theorems, the academic establishment in India barely knew what to do with him. Why? Because his methods were unorthodox. They didn't fit the neat, structured, step-by-step proofs demanded by the British academic system that had been set up in India. It wasn't until G.H. Haldi at Cambridge recognized his genius and called him to England that Ramanujan was truly validated. Even for a mind that touched infinity, the stamp of approval had to come from London. And if you think we have outgrown this, look at the present. India produces the highest number of STEM graduates in the world. We are writing the back-end code for global tech giants. We are the digital mechanics of the modern age. But who is designing the artificial intelligence models? Who is building the LLMs that will dictate the future of human thought? The West. We are still doing the heavy lifting, the back office labor, while eagerly waiting for the West to hand us the finished product so that we can buy it back. We are still seeking the stamp of approval.
This is beautiful. All the macrame that we did together.
Together every season, and for a long, long time, it has been a dream to celebrate India in India.
This is the final stage of the need for Western Thappa. It is when you no longer need the colonizer to tell you that your ideas are inferior because you are already doing it for them. We do not need to borrow our confidence from a culture that is only a few centuries old. It is time to stop waiting for their inventions to validate us and to start looking at our own, to finally recognize the sheer genius of the civilizational systems that our ancestors built for us. I'm not suggesting that we turn anti-West. That doesn't make sense. There are many things that we can learn from the West, and we should. But let the foundation be our own. And most importantly, the knowledge we celebrate, learn, teach should be suitable for our people and our climate and our reality, not Western reality. I want to hear from you in the comments. Where else do you notice this need for a Western Thappa hiding in our daily life? Where else are we blindly following a clock that isn't ours? Let's talk about it. And by the way, I love Haldi Doodh. My mom also said it's good for health.